Good afternoon everyone, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me in the studio today. Again, a lovely sunny day. Been out for a little walk before live studio, so I hope you're all well and enjoying the lovely sunshine. I can see from the comments a few of you are doing maybe plant pots and things. I saw Dorothy having a go talking about. I caught the latter end of it, so welcome to the studio. I hope you're having a lovely afternoon. My name's Tony Derrick and I'm a guest presenter over on Create and Craft, and I love anything to do with crafting, as you all know. If you are tuning in for the first time, there are a few things that you need to do. You need to click the subscribe button so you know every time we are live. There is also a little bell there to tell you when we're live, and then it will ping up on whatever tablet or phone you have, and then also click the little HD button. That will give you a better viewing experience. If you are on Facebook, you can also pop a comment underneath the finished pictures or makes from today, and then we send out some cards to some lovely winners. So welcome to all the lovely faces that we see every single day. So Maxine, Chris, Amanda, Rio, Tracy, Paul, Joe, they're all popping up. May, Pat, Pepper, Joan, Enid, good afternoon. I hope you're feeling better, Enid. It's a lovely day, isn't it? So thank you for coming in out of the sunshine and coming and joining me live in studio today. So in studio today, we are going to be using the fabulous Explore stamp. So we have been using this for the last 2 days. We should have used it yesterday, but unfortunately I had forgotten about a meeting for Tom's schooling. So I do apologise, and I'm sorry if you were waiting for me. I didn't realise myself till about 11 o'clock, which is crazy. But anyway, it's all sorted now, so we're back on track. And in today's studio, we're going to be using the Explore stamp set, which is this lovely one here. I'll just show you this one here. So this is the last day that we're using this one today. So if you do want to craft along or join in at any point with this stamp, the tuition is over on YouTube and you can still purchase this lovely stamp. All you need to do is pop FBL into the search engine and it'll bring up all the products that we've had in studio, new, some of the ones that we've revisited, and some of our earlier Craft Academy stamps too. So the tuition never goes away. But please don't switch off if you haven't got the products. It's not a great shake. You can dig out of your stash, whatever you've got, and get the inspiration from there. So that's that one. I just want to quickly show you the two that we launched on Monday. So as from this coming Monday, we will be using this one. So if you do want to craft along, it's this lovely stamp. And I also launched this one for the people who wanted to get 2 at a time and save on postage, and then it's this one the week after. So 2 really, really big stamps, absolutely gorgeous. And I think these are weeks 6 and 7 or 7 and 8. I've absolutely lost track of what's going on, to be honest, but whatever it is, it's been a fabulous time so far, hasn't it? So let's craft. I don't think there's much else to tell you about other than tomorrow I'm going to be posting a Facebook Live with some new products too. Keep your eyes peeled on Facebook for that one. I haven't decided on a time yet because I've got a few other things going on, which you can imagine. And then we're on TV at some point next week, and I will confirm those dates too for you all. So let's set this aside. So what I'm going to do is, I've had a couple of people say that they would like to just try this one. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I did this one. I'm not going to do the full card, I'm just going to show you the acetate element of it, and then I've got another demo with the same one, which is quite an arty one, because what I found over the last 2 days, particularly with this stamp, is the technique on this one you really loved, and the technique on this one you really loved. So I think I've found that you all do like a little bit of inky technique. So if I can come up with the ideas and inspire you, then I will. And I think I've got another one today that might get you going again, so you can give it a go, and I can't wait to see what you're all going to do with it. But before I get to that demo, I am going to show you this acetate one, just the front here, because I know a lot of you wanted to do it. Now, for this demo, you do need some heat-resistant acetate, okay? I have loaded some onto FBL, pretty inexpensive packs of heat-resistant acetate. So if you do want to give this technique a try, you can. And the heat-resistant acetate is also good for your embossed flowers and things like that. So if you haven't got any, you can get some on there. If you want an alternative, you can use your vellum, parchment, thinner papers, things like that. You get similar results. So let's grab our stamp and let's grab some acetate. So I'm just going to grab my Eureka here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our acetate. Now, it says heat resistant acetate. At the end of the day, it's still plastic. So when we come to heat set it, you still need to be mindful that it is plastic. Okay, so if you hold your heat gun on in one place, it will eventually burn. So I'm just going to show you a technique on how to try and not get as much warping in the card or the acetate when you come to heat set it. So all I'm doing is I'm popping this acetate into my Eureka. You're probably not going to be able to see it on the overhead, but if I flick it here, there you go, you can see it there, can't you? So I'm just going to hold it in place. I'm just going to take the stamp. Now when I did this one on the other card that I've just shown you, when I heat set it, it was quite messy. I had still bits of mess all over and it wasn't really attractive, but as soon as I turned it over, it was perfect on the other side. So that's how you end up with the reversed image. Okay, so I turned it over and the other side was easier on the eye. So that's how we ended up with a reversed image, if you're wondering how it's the opposite side. So I'm just going to pick this stamp up. Hopefully my acetate will hold in place. And I'm just going to, so if you are crafting along, you're not going to need a sticky ink pad today. You're going to need a black ink pad and you're going to need an anti-static bag and you're going to need some clear embossing powder. If you haven't got clear embossing powder, use black. If you haven't got a black ink pad, use your sticky. There's lots of alternatives. This is just the way that I prefer to do it. So I'm just going to anti-static all over this piece of acetate so it keeps it nice and clean. Well, I say nice and clean, I still had a bit of a mess after I did that one, but it looked lovely on the other side. Right, I'm just inking this one up. So I can just see a few people asking about their orders. Obviously orders are varying for different areas. They're taking 5 days for some, a week for others, 2 weeks for others, 2.5 weeks for one lady yesterday. So all I would say is you are being patient. An order from the 7th of May is being patient. But if you're concerned and it hasn't come by probably Monday, I would drop us an email and we'll have a look into it for you. We're nearly through all the emails now, so, and all the orders are practically out of the door too. So I will probably say give it until Monday, and if they're not there, then we will have a look into it for you. The problem we're facing, you see, at the moment is, even though everything's still being sent as tracked, Royal Mail's tracking service hasn't been working. So even paying the extra cost of having things tracked hasn't been very beneficial at all, because when you've contacted us, we've popped it into the track and trace system and it still shows, oh, you'll get an update when it's being delivered. It's like, well, how long before that happens? So it's a little bit difficult, but we can absolutely give you tracking numbers and things like that by all means. Right, so hopefully I'll have a nice black image on there. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop some clear embossing onto here. You can see it's printed just nicely. If I pop it over this piece of white here, you'll be able to see, look. Can we see that there? So I'm just going to pop some clear embossing on there. Just going to grab some cardstock. Just turning my artwork around. Oh, I'm trying to tip it out of the pot and there's none in it. So let's just pop it back in my pot. I was meant to be on TV tomorrow, but now it's next week. I will keep you posted on the times and days. So hopefully we've got this covered. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap off that excess take it off my mat, give it a shake, and then hopefully you'll have a covered image. You're not going to be able to see that there, but it has grabbed it all. All that powder around there is my anti-static bag. It's not the powder, okay? So don't worry about it. So to heat set this, just give it a shake. Be careful when you're shaking because you might shake all of the powder off. So just be mindful of that one too. So I'm just going to get my gun hot as possible. This is heat resistant acetate, yes. So I've popped them on our website from the shop. So if anybody didn't have any and wanted to do the technique, then if you just pop FBL into the search engine, it should be there. It's really inexpensive too, which is a great bonus. Right, so my gun's quite hot here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the gun to the acetate. Just bring my gun along a little bit. There we go. I'm just going to heat set this. Now, you have to pretty much move really quickly because it will change straight away. I don't know if you can see this here. And as soon as it changes, you need to chase that powder. So looking at it like on the front there, yeah, it's nice. It's actually done it better. That all brushes off. I'm just going to give it a second to cool down. And then just grab some tissue and just give it a dust off, and then you can see how pretty it is. Get rid of all that anti-static powder. Let's just move this out of the way so we've got a bit of a tidier station going on. So I would use it this way actually because it's far prettier than the one I did on the demo. But there we go. You see that there? But if it's not the best and you know you've got flecks everywhere, you can turn it over and use the reverse. And then all I did with mine was I scored down this side and down this side, and I wrapped it around some patterned paper. So I've got a bit of blue here, look. Can we see there? So I created a little bit of a sky, wrap it round. You could create a dome, give it the hump like we did in one of the demonstrations with one of our other tutorials, like so. Can we see that there? So there are lots of things you can do, and then I just mat and laid some coloured card at the bottom there just to give it a little bit of dimension. So easy peasy, that one. I'm not going to go into a great demo on that one because I have another demo for you, and we do try and get in as much, pack the shows as much as we can. So I'll just set that one aside. Let's move on to our next demo. Quick drink. Right, next demo. So if you are crafting along, you're going to need a piece of card. I've got watercolour card, but I think normal card would still be okay if you haven't got any watercolour card to hand. And it's about an A5, it's half a piece of an A4. And I've got my watercolour pens today, but if you haven't got pens, you can use your watercolour pans, your tubes, your acrylics will work, your gouache will work, anything like that that you can paint with, you can use. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to stamp this image in black. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I've got it on my card nicely. So just push it up a little bit because I don't want to take the stamp off my door. Yep, let's go with that one. So again, I'm going to stamp it in black, and then I'm going to throw some clear on it just to seal the image. Okay, so black ink pad first. Might have to stamp it twice. Just move that down. So the areas where we haven't got as much colour. And hopefully this will be really black, this one. There we go, that's lovely. So I'll just set this aside. I'm just going to bring in that piece of white cardstock and I'm just going to seal this image with the crystal clear embossing powder. Hopefully. There we go. Hopefully, oh, there's a little bit there I've missed. So I'll tell you something quite nice today. Cheered me up so much. I have had the first card for when we come to the end of our Craft Academy. I've had the first make through the door this morning. And it was lovely to read, so I'm not going to mention any names because that's for when we do actually go to it, but it's a beautiful card and the lovely lady has done one of the techniques that we've used in show. So it really did cheer me up getting that through the post this morning, and I knew it was going to be a handmade card because the envelope was stunning. So that's really cheered me up today. So I'm going to get rid of this stamp and clear my station down till we have to come back to it. Clean my hands. I know I did see something had happened with Dorothy. Some plant pots or something. I hope you're well, sweetheart. Right, I'm just going to heat set this one. There it is. So my heat gun is already hot from last time, so we're just going to heat set this one. So this is just basically sealing that black underneath that clear embossing powder. It's probably, you probably do this quite often at home anyway. And then you have a gorgeous, hopefully a gorgeous glossy image. There we go. So really, really basic. Just seal that image. It makes it quite shiny as well, which is really, really nice. So let's be creative with this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take something rectangular, a lid off one of your ink pads, something you can draw around. So a rectangle, a square, a circle, a heart, whatever you've got in your stash. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a little bit of a aperture window here. So I've got a pencil and I'm just going to draw around this little piece here. Shall we go a little bit higher? It doesn't matter where you put your window. Okay, so I'm just going to draw around my Generation Inks lid. And because I'd like it a little bit bigger, I'm just going to extend the design a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to be perfect, you're not going to see it, so don't put yourself under pressure about it being perfect. There we go, so I've got a rectangle. I hope it's straight. We'll soon find out, won't we? So let's pop that to the side. There we go, so we've got an aperture now drawn into our artwork. So I've got two coloured watercolour pens here. I have, if you are crafting along and want to do similar colours, I have 72 and 75. Let me just check the colours of these on this piece of scratch. So like a walnutty brown and a darkery brown there. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to use the lighter colour first, and I'm just going to where my line is, if I can see it there, I'm just going to colour with my pen roughly up to that line and just lay some colour down there like so. Then I'm just going to get some clean clear water, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to paint up to that colour and I'm going to just drag it out. You see that there? I don't want to get rid of the colour right up to the line because I want that line to stay put. So basically just drag that colour out. There we go. Can we see that there? Let's do the other side. So I'm just adding colour to the line as straight as I can. Now you can go back around your ink pad if you want to, if you're not the most confident. I'm just getting a layer of colour down to that line. Get some colour down. And then I'm just going to take my clean clear water and I'm just going to take it up to that colour. Just going to drag it out. See that there? So that's two sides done. It's just, if you get any harsh lines, just blend them out with your water. Let's turn it round. And if you get any pen on your image, don't worry, because we've sealed it with that heat resistant we've sealed it with the embossing powder. It resists it. Can we see now how we're getting like a lovely frame around our artwork? It would help if it doesn't look too straight on there. And then down the bottom here. So try and do it as straight as you can, or at least make your rectangle in the centre straight. Mine looks like it's a little bit skew with, so I'm just getting that colour down. Clean clear water up to it and then drag it out. So there are no rules, so I'm going to go with that for now. Not very straight, given, but you make sure you do yours straight. So that's that so far. Oh, it looks a bit. Let me just try and straighten it out because it will frustrate me. I'm just going to try and straighten this out a little bit. I made it any better? Is it any better? I'm not going to faff because I'll probably ruin it, and it's so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat set that first. So it's important that when you take your water up, you don't try and pull all the colour out, because that's just going to create a frame. You just need to connect it to the colour that you've put down and drag it out. Try and leave some of the colour that you've scratched around in place, and that's how you sort of get this window aperture on there. So if you, say for instance, you've done that and you're thinking, you know, I've not done the best, you can improve on it, okay? So you can maybe take a darker colour to it, the next one that you've got down, and you could do the same one again, add a little bit of a darker colour this time, look. Go on with your brush, can we see there? And just drag that one out. See there, so it's created a little bit darker. And because you're dragging it out with your brush, it doesn't matter how you scribble down the ink. Just connect it to the colour and let the colour just come out. Can we see there? So just creating a little bit of a darker frame. So you can experiment with 1, 2 colours if you like it when you've laid your first colour down. Don't mess, I would say just leave it as is. You don't have to add more than one colour. Now let's just do it around the base. So we can see where it's going, can't we? So let's just dry this one off. So this is watercolour card, but you could still use normal card if that's all you've got. You may just need to work a little bit harder to blend the colour out a little bit, but you should be okay, it should still work. I know, I'm having some great ideas for men cards of late, aren't I? So, if you absolutely like what you've seen so far and you like it, you need to stop now. But what I'm going to show you now is just if you want to take it a stage further, you can, okay? So, but you can stop at any point at home. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my metallic purple, my metallic pink, and then I'm going to go into yellow. And I'm going to paint in the window. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to get these inks activated. Just hydrate them a little bit with some water. If you haven't got these inks, use watercolours, use whatever you've got paint-wise in your stash, okay? So I'm just going to give these a twirl around and get them activated. Then we're good to go. So first of all, I'm going to put some water in my aperture, so hopefully. And what I'm going to do is you need to be careful. If you connect with your watercolour pens, it's going to drag in. So just be careful. Try not to go as close. Don't connect if you can avoid it. If it connects and it goes in, it's not going to ruin your image. But just try and be careful if you can. So I'm just wetting in the window best I can. Like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some of the lovely purple and I'm just going to drop this in here. So we're going to have a metallic window, okay? Sorry, enjoying myself too much, I'm hiding my work. Now I'm going to pick up some of this lovely sunset colour. I'll pick up some of this lovely yellow. Sorry, the pens, yep, sorry guys, it's 72 and 75. So I'm just going to dry that and then I'm going to put another layer on top. Maybe intensify it a little bit more. So let's just build on it and make it a little bit more intense. So I'm just going to pick up some more of that lovely. I'm just going to try and get as close as I can to that lovely brown edge without reactivating it if we can. Drop some more of that lovely. I have to say, this is looking rather awesome. I hope it's coming across on camera. It's just one of those ideas you get and you never know, like sometimes when I'm in studio, if it's going to work or not, but I have to say, this is turning out lovely, which is nice. I'll pick up some of our lovely yellow. Now you can blend them together if you get a bit of clean water and try and blend them a little bit maybe. Just play around with them and absolutely just enjoy the colours that you have. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of that this harsh line here. I'm just going to bring some of this pink into here. So I haven't got a harsh line. Ended up with a nice corally colour now. So let's just dry this one off. If you tilt it, you see it all depends on how runny you're. Like I've tilted it now and I'm getting some drips going down. So I'm getting a bit of a, not a muddy mess, aurora borealis type. So just take your tissue and just take it out, unless you like that sort of look. Can do that. I'm just going to have to pop some colour in there though, because I've just taken most of the colour out with the tissue. There we go. So let's get this dry. If you've got some little bird stamps from a collection, somebody else's collection, you could put some little birds in there too. That would look quite pretty. So let's enhance even more, okay? So let's just put the lids back on here. Sunshine, sunset. So let's just grab my Eureka. And we're going to need, my coffee. Oops. Yeah, you could do two different ways. Maybe make a masculine and feminine card. That'd be good if, you know, you didn't put the colour in one and the colour in another. Or maybe use the similar colours on the inside. So what I'm going to do now, just to enhance it a little bit more. In fact, I'm not going to pop it in my Eureka. I'll just do it on here, look. I'm just going to add some detail around the edge. So I've just got my stamp and I've just got it in my hand. And I'm just going to grab a brown ink pad. This is just one I've got to hand. This is Walnut Stain Distress Oxide, but you can use your re-ink at your little Tim Holtz or my Generation Inks, whatever you've got to hand. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up the top of this tree, which is just on this part of the stamp here. Can we see that there? I'm just going to add some, see that there, detail around the edge. Just to get rid of the plainness. And again, you can absolutely leave this, you don't have to do this. This is going to dry back to pretty much nothing anyway, so there we go. And then let's pop this into our Eureka and pop a sentiment on here. So I just have Happy Birthday from one of the sets that's coming up soon out of there. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it across the top here. like so, and I'm just looking just to see if I have my white gouache to hand. I don't think. Oh, what a shame. So I was just going to do some white gouache around the edges just to push the colour back a little bit and make it look a little bit more vintage. But basically that's the card. Let me just grab some black and I'm going to mount it onto some black so you can see how pretty it looks as soon as it's mounted. So the next stamp is this one, and this one is available on the website, and we play with this one as of Monday. So it's this one, it's called BU, sorry, BU, it's this one. And then I'll just stick this onto this piece of black card here. And I really did wish I had my gouache to show you what I meant by pushing it back. I will do it for the photo, I will find it and check out the picture after the show so you can see exactly what I mean. But there we go. So you can colour the panel, or you can leave it be. You could put stripes, you could do a rainbow, anything you wanted to. So draw around something that's rectangular. The key to it is not pulling out all of that colour that you put around the frame, all of this colour that goes around here. Don't pull it all out and you get, can we see that there? There we go. So you get the appearance of foreground and background, like you're looking through a hole, like I'm pushing you through a hole. Yeah, is that okay? I hope you've liked that one. Pretty simple really. You could do this in purple tones of pens. You could do this in red tones. As long as you don't pull out all of that colour from around the frame, it will look quite pretty, I would say. So there we go. That's the end of that stamp, which is such a shame. We've had some great fun with this one, haven't we? So as of Monday, we will be using the fabulous floral one. You do get 2 in there, so we've got 2 to go at, which is great, with a little bit of option. And then we have the hands with the heart, and that one's on there too if you do want to craft along with that one as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's studio. We've flown through that one, to be fair. I think because I felt like this one was going to take ages, I flew through this one. But as you can see, the finished cards, when you do actually mount them and do something with them, look really, really pretty. There we go. So I would say, whatever you're doing this afternoon, have a good one, whether it be crafting. I can't wait to see all of your makes. And I will see you tomorrow, Friday. What we're going to do, it's a surprise. I don't know myself. I'll see you all tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Bye.